if you somehow found this video in the whole of YouTube, you could possibly be a lesbian or a pervert. It's not the sexualization of the same sex or lesbian couples is not something that is new to the culture at large. We are very used to that. Girls kissing in clubs, none of that is new. Lesbians have been sexualized constantly. When we compare lesbians to gay counterparts in media, why do lesbians not get the same thing that gay men get? Why do they get heated rivalry, and why do we get things that just die off in the box office or little indie films here now and again? Why don't we get cultural renaissances like gay men do? There have been popular lesbian media, like The L Word. I've watched The L Word. I like it somewhat, even though it gets a little bit. And of course, that awful French film, Blue is the Warmest Color, where they just tortured the actresses, so I don't even want to mention that one. But just lackluster. I don't know many popular lesbian things that are truly lesbian and not just the sexualization of women and the fact that there's two of them, so you can sexualize both of them. That's not really lesbian sex, lesbian media. That's not really homoeroticism in that way. One thing that I noted initially was the homophobia being different in men versus women. It comes up differently, I feel like, in most cases. So for the homophobia towards men, it's just disgust. It's just men are seen as feminine, and being a woman is the worst thing you can be in the eyes of society. And whether that you believe that to be true or not, but what are attributes that we give to women that we shame men for just having or showing a little bit? Most of the things that we shame men for, the patriarchy shames men for, are just being sensitive or having similar traits to women. Like I said, being feminine in any way is kind of negative in a man's personality. Seeing two gay men kiss is disgusting because that's wholly feminine and wholly gross. So that's how the homophobia would come out. But let's say two women. So we have these two women, and instead of saying that's disgusting, we say make out. It's a chance to sexualize these women even more, and the homophobia is different. The only way we see this men kissing men and this yeah, is fujoshis, and fujoshis are far I'm not gonna say far and few between, but yeah, I think there's a large part of it is misogyny and the audience, and yeah. So with the misogyny thing, so we're more likely to see women that are gay instead of this woman is gay in narratives. So we see Euphoria. Rue is gay. It's a very popular show. Rue is pretty much a lesbian. We haven't really seen her actively hook up with women as an adult, which just kind of leads to she might be a lesbian, or she probably is a lesbian. That's not really a large point of the plot. It's just kind of there, and it's useful when we want it, but even then, we don't even see lesbian sex scenes. We see straight sex, which is okay. So in filmmaking, men may get more money, more opportunities, more things and trusts in these higher levels of the media, so they're able to make productions like Euphoria, Sam Levinson. So he writes a character that's a lesbian. It's not the plot isn't about the fact surrounding the fact that she's a lesbian, because Sam Levinson isn't a lesbian. It's just a detail that he added to the character. What could he add to that identity, really, other than oh, I like women too? So it's not going to be a key factor in the story. So we're probably not going to see a lot of queer notes, queer tones, things that we as queer people want to see, because he's just not bringing that to the character. And that's a lot of times, and a lot of people, when it comes to queer storylines, especially lesbian sex scenes, lesbian relationships, they're not written really by us, largely, because that's not who's getting the money to make them. That's not who's getting the money to direct and write. So then we're just stuck with these pieces that they kind of have us in it, and it's kind of nice, but it's not really the experience. There was a film called My Days with Mercy, something like that. My Days with Mercy. It had really good lesbian sex scenes. It had Elliot Page and Rooney Mara, whom I found out were having an affair, which is kind of hot. But the lesbian sex scenes were very realistic, and that's because the director, or I can't remember the director or the writer, had tried out a lot of the stuff we saw on screen with their actual wife. Obviously, that's not important, but certain things like that add to the experience. And then I also want to talk about the audience, like who's watching this. So the thing with like a woman and a man versus man, and I find it interesting to look at it through the male or female gaze. So a lot of times through the female gaze, and I know when I'm interested in men, when a lot of my female counterparts are interested in men, they are attracted to certain things about men, and a lot of the female gaze wraps around seeing femininity in men. So what is something wholly feminine a man can do? Kiss another man. It's kind of seen as sexy, and since sexualizing men isn't really taboo, it's almost the counterculture, because in a society where we're mainly meant to sexualize women, sexualizing a man isn't that bad. Just in the eyes of society. You can go on TikTok, you can go on this. What is more acceptable to do to most people? That will be sexualizing a man. Like I said, it is the counterculture. So a lot of times, it is completely normal and okay for straight women, young adults, to kind of watch something like Heated Rivalry and go, it's not hurting anybody, and we obviously have to put up like the fact that we know that men are more harmful to women. So if a woman were to sexualize a man, it's less likely that she would do something violent to him, because that's more so men. This percent slant is to the 90s for men versus women, and things like domestic violence, sexual violence. So a lot of times, not to go I don't want to go too crazy and start like stringing things together, but so a lot of times it's not seen as threatening either. It's just not as harmful when women do it. That's just the facts. That's just the statistics. Obviously, it's not okay to sexualize people, and that's really wrong, and people are not objects, and no matter what gender you are, it's not okay to do that. Even if guessing the color of a guy's tip is inappropriate, a nasty woman. But when we try to look at the male gaze, what is the male gaze? The male gaze is maybe two women kissing, but it's not a lesbian relationship. So who is watching these lesbian movies? Most people that are watching these lesbian movies are like artsy people, lesbians. Whereas for like the gay guy genre, you're pulling in probably some teen girls, you're pulling in queer women, you're pulling in gay guys. It feels like you have a larger batch. When I was a teenager, more people were watching men kissing men rather than women kissing women in my Catholic school. Yeah, and since teenage girls kind of control the culture and shift things, and these young women kind of shift things, that's why something like a gay Heated Rivalry or Call Me By Your Name is going to be more popular. It's got something like Timothy Chalamet in it. Young women love that, and then it's hot because his masculinity is intact, and he can kiss guys on screen and not be weird about, like, those things are seen as good traits in women. And again, it's like, who is the audience for lesbian films? There's a new Haley Kiyoko movie, Girls, that came out. I don't know how well it did. I hope it did well, but a lot of the lesbian movies I've seen are little indie, little I wish more people watched it. I wish more people did. But I also don't want, like, certain demographic, like, I don't want men to watch lesbian films. I don't want to, like, that does sound gross to me. And often, like, these lesbian movies, these lesbian, like, things are often super painful. Like, they're super fucking depressing. Portrait of a Lady on Fire? People love that movie. But it's fucking depressing as shit. Like, it's sweet in some moments, but it's also depressing. It feels like lesbian movies have to have pain. And I'm like, why, God? Why? Why does this movie have to be painful? Why can't we have something hot and smutty and great and pumping? Like, why can't we get there? Why? It's like that. There was a year in quarantine where I was trying to watch more black films, and every black thing that I was watching included slavery. Like, it was all like black struggle films, and I'm like, I just want to watch a movie with black people in it where they aren't going through the Civil War. Like, I just want to watch a movie with black people in it where people are feeling joy. And I feel the same thing for like lesbian movies and lesbian things. Like, I just want to see these people have fun, have a good time, go to each other's summer houses in fucking Canada. Like, that's what I want to see. And it's really, I don't know. It really sucks that there hasn't been something, like, popular on that scale. And it kind of worries me, because I'm like, is there ever, like, lesbians are so marginalized and kind of, like, just so marginalized. And I don't know the statistics. It does feel like a smaller number. Gender inequality already in a marginalized situation, and it's just very unfortunate to see, but it is true. Like, it's very true. It's awful to see. It really is. Because it's just like, we're already in this group. Why do we have to be marginalized in a marginalized group and treated like that? But yeah, let's see more lesbian art, more beautiful lesbians. Thank you for watching this video.
Look who stepped up in that bitch. Quickly put out the tag on the trick. Give me that grin in your bitch. I got